Hair down. Everybody hear the banjo okay? Well, this lighting is perfect because something I've really enjoyed. It started happening. People would always ask me, like, "Well, how are you doing that banjo thing?" So, part of my show, I would start talking about how I play the banjo. So, I play the particular style of banjo I play isn't the traditional bluegrassy kind of, with the picks. That I couldn't get my fingers to wiggle that fast, and so I saw a banjo player who plays what is called a clawhammer. Or frailing style banjo, and all the sound I'm getting is by going down on the strings, and then my thumb gets hooked on this. You might notice there's this funny little peg up here. There's this one string, this high string, and it's a drone string, so it's always playing the same note over and over again. So what I'm doing is I'm going down, I thought tonight, instead of teaching you more about how I play the banjo, I want to talk about the mood of the banjo, because that's what I think is so fun about this instrument. Is it's the mood that most people associate with the banjo is this happy, here we go kind of mood. Yes, sir. So that's one style of the banjo, right? Yeah, that's good. And another way that you can play, or that I started to play the banjo with hand is, so the nice thing about the banjo is it's all kind of smoke and mirrors, man. It looks like you're doing all this kind of stuff, but if you just strum it, you have a G chord, so you can play with a lot of people just by going like this, and they're playing a song. And then if you smoosh your finger like this, you have a C chord. So now you know 2 chords. And if you move up a little more, you have a D chord. And now all of a sudden you can go out and you can make tens of dollars as a banjo player. So the other style of banjo, the other mood that a banjo does is it does really well. It's kind of like that ragtimey. Right? So that's another fun mood of the banjo. But when I started playing with Ann, I said, well, if I want to play some of the songs that she's writing, I can't keep sticking a capo way up here. And what a capo does is it changes the key that I get to play in. So I found out that, a lot of banjo players, they retune their banjo so they can play in a different key with still getting that kind of fuller sound. So I'll demonstrate here. You take this D note, drop it down to C, pull the D note up to C as well. So now you have kind of a little different mood, right? And I like this one. It's kind of a mountainy song, and it also works well for Ann's songs. It's kind of a little deeper tone. I'll get it in tune here. All right, so this is I really like. It's kind of you really have a pretty mode to it, which has been one of my favorite things over time, is to give banjo a little bit more credence that it can be a pretty instrument. Now, with all that said, the other fun thing about the banjo is where it kind of just really took root. It was an African instrument that came over with slaves, and so it was incorporated into the Southern culture. And a lot of the style of music that gets played on this type of banjo doesn't have a big resonance. It's not big and pushy and loud. It was kind of more of a contemplative music, and it was an expression music, especially for kind of the Appalachian country. And so these people are living hard lives, and so they could take that, the mood of this banjo, and kind of make it imitate that a little bit. So here's one. Oh, I've got money to spend. Well, I'm gonna play. And I'll be a dollar friend. So it has that kind of spooky sound to it. Now, one more thing that the banjo does is there's another tuning that's halfway in between the first one I showed you and this one that I'm playing right here. You can take this one back up, and you keep the other one down. And this is sometimes called the cross tuning or sawmill tuning. And a lot of the cool kind of lonesome kind of mountain songs are in this tuning. So this is like. Oh, yeah, oh, Santa Claus, come along, Santa. Oh, Santa Claus, we don't wait the day. So that's these different moods of the banjo. So to wrap this all up, Ann and I, if you don't know a little bit, most of you might know this part of our story, but we were living in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we had started playing this music, and we had the privilege to start playing it all around the country. And we decided, maybe there's another place, maybe there's more of a music hub we can go to, and we're really gonna try for this music. So, okay, so we left Jackson and we drove around the country with our two babies in the car, and we were about 16 months on the road, driving around from town to town, 30 different states. We crossed the United States a couple times. Our son was 8 months old when we first strapped him in the car seat. He was 2 when we pulled him out. We took him out in between, actually. But he saw a lot of the country backwards in the car seat.
Yes.
And I remember we came to the California coast, and we were in Half Moon Bay, and there was this beautiful ranch that a friend of ours was helping, doing some caretaking, and she said, hey, you guys can go to this ranch and stay in this house. And the house that we ended up staying at was on top of this hill, and the sun was setting. I have a picture of Anne and our daughter Leah holding hands, and the colors are just stunning. And I was sitting there with our son Sam, who was maybe about 2 at the time, and there were some wind chimes outside the house. And I started thinking, that kind of sort of sounds like the banjo. So I started playing around, and I ended up making up this little tune. Different moves of the banjo.